pass it off to you. Excited to do this panel.
Yeah, for sure. I guess we'll just jump into whatever questions that we can currently ask. And I suppose I'll start with, for both you guys, I know at least for Digitex can answer the first half, and then both you guys can answer the other half. Just kind of start with your token standard and what you have set up for your tokens, as well as how that is associated with NFTs, and how both of you and your projects are associated around non-fungible tokens?
Sure. Yeah, so how I originally designed the ticketing platform was similar to the CryptoKitties, where you would buy tickets with Ethereum, and people could then get the tickets, have them in their wallets. They could use those tickets at events, get them scanned, so everyone knows that those tickets are real tickets, as the ERC 721s. And then I started thinking of different use cases, and then one of them popped up was using a token, so an ERC20 token. And the reason why I thought that was useful is to kind of filter out bad data. So with the platform, how it was originally built was that anyone could go in there and start creating events. And once they create events, they can create ticket tiers. And those ticket tiers dictate the different types of tickets that are associated with that. So you have the cost, you have the different levels, so general admission, VIP, and then they can be custom NFT types, different metadata, and then also like the different costs for those tickets. And you could set the amount of tickets that get issued. So I introduced the ERC20 token in order to basically you stake those tokens in order to be able to create an event for that platform. And then of course there's the fee for using the platform. So creating an event, there's a small fee for calling the smart contract to create it, which is payable in Ethereum or that token. So I started finding different value and use cases for creating an ERC20 token that combines into that ecosystem, so that people could use it as a form of payment. They could use it as a form of fees. They could sell tickets for ERC20 tokens, and then it filters out bad data. So in order to create an event, you need say 10,000 tokens, and so that at least puts in anyone who actually is serious about creating an event can stake the tokens and lock them in and start to create the events. And then also using advanced features like custom premium NFT tickets, like non-transferable tickets. So if you buy a ticket, you have to go to the event. Another one could be the way that you sell the tickets. So you can make them anti-scalp, which is the non-transferable tickets, or pro scalp, where you can actually sell the tickets, but the original event owner can actually claim a portion of that secondhand market sale. So say if you buy a ticket for $100 and you're like, oh, I'm going to sell these tickets for 200 to make a profit. 10% of that profit goes back to the original event creator. So by staking additional ERC20 tokens, you unlock those features to create unique premium ticket tiers. So that's kind of essentially how I've introduced the ERC20 token system with the ERC 721 system. But there's a lot of other use cases with the ERC20 token system, but that's kind of how I'm working on those use cases and slowly adding more features to the platform over time.
All right, very nice. Thank you very much. And Mark?
Hey, can you hear me?
Yep, hear you just fine.
All right, let me see. Cool. So yes, I am working on a Mark Savage, creator and innovator in the blockchain space, and I'm working on a platform titled Adore. Right now, a lot of people see me as the face of it, but eventually I want it to be a community-driven platform. Right now, with the thought in mind for creatives and artists, so artists, musicians, influencers, anyone that wants to get into the virtual space or that's already in the virtual space can come to Adore and start minting, creating virtual assets. And you can use these. We'll help you on the team to gamify these assets, definitely host auctions, and just really set up a e-shop, online shop for your virtual items, uh, and get them out there to your audience. So right now we haven't done a soft launch yet because Ethereum is just a little too congested for us. And my team, we finding that Wax is definitely an amazing solution for us just because of the infrastructure. So we're in the midst of integrating that for our backend, so we can have a successful soft launch, and from there, we'll just have fun, allow people to collect, and really, what we looked or what we aim to do is bring the traditional world into the virtual space. So we're contacting traditional artists, painters, traditional musicians, saying you can create musical cards, uh, videographers, photographers, influencers, just showing them what they can do and how they can bring their communities into the space and kind of growth hack, the both sides. So a door is a doorway, from the traditional to the virtual.
All right, very nice. Thank you very much for that. Brandon, I know Mark over here was just mentioning Wax as far as some sort of alternative to Ethereum for this congestion and scalability, and I know you were talking about using ERC20 tokens as the standard for your tickets. Have you been noticing any major issues with trying to sell the tickets and fees associated with it? And if so, is there any sort of solution you guys have been trying to work on for avoiding that so that way more tickets can be sold to the masses?
Yeah, absolutely. So for this event, we used the ticketing system for this event. We sold, I think it was about 35 tickets. Um, but yeah, that's the gas fees are insane. So people who did buy the tickets with the NFTs, I thank you for using the system. Use spending your droids for buying those NFT tickets. So it's pretty cool to see. I think it was about 2 weeks ago. The tickets were $10 in gas fees, and then the week after that, it was about $20 in gas fees. And then I checked the other day, and it was $125 in gas fees alone. Not to mention the price of the ticket, which is insane. So it's definitely a massive issue. Um, and I've looked at a couple different blockchains, from Loom to Matic to a couple different protocols, Near, XDAI. So I'm definitely looking at trying to migrate. And I think there's a couple different kind of issues that we're trying to solve. And I mean, one of them is we originally designed this for physical events. So you'd actually have your physical QR code ticket that you would then scan physically in a real event. But with coronavirus, it's been an interesting pivot. So we've been focusing more on virtual conferences and virtual events. A lot of virtual conferencing software, they don't have a way of authenticating users. So that's why we're working on building those partnerships with different virtual conferencing software to provide that as a solution. But of course, we have to solve a lot of the key issues like the scalability, the price fees, trying to introduce the platform in a way that you don't even know that you're using Ethereum. And those are some of the solutions, or those are some of the key issues that we're focused on. We did solve a few of them. One of them was the price issue and fees. So setting the ticket and the cost of Ethereum, with the volatility of Ethereum. Say one ticket was one Ethereum. Well, it's $200 this week, $300 the next week, $400 the next week. So we actually integrated with Chainlink to use the price referencing oracle to dynamically adjust the price so that it's $100 is $100 worth of Ethereum. Another one is the wallets and managing. So actually created a server that also does custody of the tickets, but emails the ticket IDs out so they can still be utilized. And then also integrating fiat, so like integrating Stripe to pay for these tickets and then have them held in custody. Email the QR code, then you could scan that QR code at the event. But yeah, there's a lot of issues in the ecosystem as a whole, and we're just focusing on understanding them and then trying to build some solutions to them.
Yes, the this blockchain road has definitely had a lot of bumpy patches, but the technology is moving quite fast. And as far as that goes, I know that as far as the masses trying to get into crypto, they also have some struggles as far as getting a wallet set up and then trying to connect to Coinbase or whatever method they use to get crypto, and then trying to figure out what to do with these tokens once they get into their wallet. And then, especially with all the Ethereum issues going on right now with the gas fees, a lot of people are looking at other alternatives such as Hive and Tron, EOS, etc., other blockchains for their titles, which can get very overwhelming if someone has to, get 5, 6 different types of wallets. and keep track of all their different tokens and assets through them all. How are you guys planning to kind of mainstream this, mainline it to allow more easy access to these tokens for consumers that don't want to have to spend like a half hour to an hour just to set up something to be able to accept these?
I mean, one of the ways I've looked at solving it was using a wallet called Toros. Toros is a pretty interesting wallet where you can authenticate with like Google Chrome, or I think even with like Facebook and Twitter and GitHub. You can authenticate with there, and they actually generate a key in the back end for you, and then creating a server that basically handles some of the requests, so that it can actually send that NFT ticket that you purchased directly to that wallet, and then signing in with Google, having your wallet, having your ticket in your Google account essentially, and then being able to still log in and attend the event, so that they're not actually even paying any gas fees. The servers are, and it's kind of like a gas station type of thing, so that the user doesn't even know that they're using the blockchain. And that's kind of what we're working on achieving. And we built a couple proof of concepts that have been working, but of course, someone's got to pay the gas fees, and that, the server right now would be us. So we obviously don't want to do that because then we're paying out of pocket for all the gas fees. So that's why we're looking at different layer 2 solutions, or having another way of like doing it with optimistic rollups or ZK rollups.
Yeah, sorry. If I could jump in real quick. I done Lou with Ethermon is here. I don't. Can you hear?
Yes. Hi.
Hi. All right. Feel free to introduce yourself. And then
Yeah.
as well. Mhm.
Okay, great. Thanks. Sorry for being late. I had a little issue with my browser and everything. This is Aiden. So I am the founder of Ethermon. So Ethermon was originally branded as Ethereumon. It was, I guess, one of the earlier blockchain game and probably the first battle game. It launched pre ERC 721, so it launched about the same time as CryptoKitties. So we had obviously had our struggles in terms of catching up with the ERC 721 standard when making it compatible to it. And so these days, since the classic game, in the past year or so, we've been really focused on integrating ourselves with the Decentraland. So we're part of the developers program and essentially rolling out new contents over there, bringing everything to 3D. One of the key things that we really focus on is making the same asset compatible across all platforms. So you can use it on a traditional classic website game. You can use the same NFT on the Decentraland. So now, without going into too much detail, I guess I can also talk a little bit about the topic that we're just talking about. So one of the key things these days is about onboarding user. With the gas very high, what do you do? So we are looking at all kinds of various different solutions. One of the one, because we're kind of binded to Ether, just because we were originally created it. So the main ones we're looking at is a plasma chain related solution. One particular one is a Matic network. We're very closely working with them because we wanted to still allow users to take our existing asset, move it to a sidechain, and be able to move it back, with having Ethereum being the main proof of stake. Sorry, not proof of stake. Ethereum being the main chain, either proof of stake or proof of work. Because the only worry we had about using an alternate chain entirely off by itself is, what if that chain doesn't have long-term adoption. But then I guess as long as the developer continue to explore all the solutions, you can always create all kinds of interchain related assets. So one of our focus right now is then, obviously looking at, okay, what does it mean really when you have the same asset on two different chains? Should it be cross-compatible, or should because not only do you have the asset, you also have storage variable behind it too. So do you now synchronize the storage across chain? So there could be all kinds of various different challenges. But now, because of gas being very high these days, and at the same time we want to target a mass market, we are also creating more traditional free-to-play. So we're moving a little bit of very decentralized, 100% decentralized, to a little bit of centralized. So which means allowing some user to play entirely just by having email. You create a temporarily centralized a user account for them. they still have the NFT, but they are off-chain NFT. But later on, they can then mint it to these new locations. So, anyways, that's a quick intro and have my 2 cents on the topic.
Yes, thank you very much, and that was very informational. Mark, I don't know if you have anything else to add on your project and how you plan on combating some of those issues as it gets to the soft launch.
Yeah, so I'm agnostic at heart. For me, and with my team, the best tech wins. So, I've been working a little side by side with the Casper Labs team, looking at Cosmos, looking at Algorand, looking at HBAR or Hedera Hashgraph, and it's some incredible teams and platforms out there. So the reason we chose to go with Wax, they kind of built the things we're looking for, and we do want to incorporate, Tron, VChain, IOST. There's some great things out there, and we want to really have the mindset of it's like a plug and play. So you can come just about with any wallet or sign up with an email, and either we'll pre-mint or if you want to mint to a certain chain, you can. So really for us, it's really all the back end, just getting that ready so it can be a seamless experience. And so it's taking us a little longer, just to kind of really create a plan, for because we want the first experience to be the best, or not even the best, just people like it. Say, okay, I can see where this is amazing. I see where it needs a little fixing, but they love it. I want my friends, my brothers, my sisters to be able to come on, go buy an NFT, and not have too much of a learning curve. So we have that in mind, and so I'm excited for our next kind of date. We're looking for, I think, an October date. I don't want to put a hard date out there, but we're behind the scenes just building away. I do have a little, actually, a form you can fill out if you want to get updates for the alpha launch, maybe do some giveaways and all of that.
Yeah, that'd be awesome if you could post that in the chat. I don't know if that's already in there somewhere, but I know I'd definitely love to check that out. And another question before we move on for the platform is I'm curious specifically the type of platform you intend on using for these creators to be able to, turn their content, their creations into NFTs and kind of like both what types of NFTs they'll be able to make and then how they'll be able to make NFTs out of them, turn these, like I said, creations into digital assets and kind of where they'll be sold and the type of marketplace you're looking at for these people to make some sort of profit off of their, off of their talents.
Yeah, I kind of got a little to share with that. So our first run would be to kind of integrate with OpenSea. Having our marketplace, but allowing users to definitely use OpenSea. And then like Adam said about Decentraland, whatever chain or platform we build on, we want that to be able to encompass the community as well. So right now with Wax, they have Myth Market, they have Atomic Hub, they have some great teams and platforms already. So we'll have our own marketplace as well as all the other marketplaces already on that chain. It's kind of, if you I don't know if you guys know about Nifty Gateway, but they have their own website. You log in with your email. They have their auctions with the artwork or the pieces, but you can also send it off of their site to your wallet, and you can sell it in OpenSea, or you can do peer to peer. Say, hey, contact somebody through the wallet, or just Telegram. Say, I like your piece in your wallet. People can kind of see what you have now and either place a bid or trade. And Silicon Nexus has, I know they're working on something that's incredible where you can look at each other's wallets, trade swaps, and have droids. So that's my take on it.
Yeah, thank you. That definitely helps a lot. To kind of change things up, Lou, I wanted to ask you since I know you mentioned working directly with Decentraland, and I know that that has been a project quite a few years in the making now, as far as a huge digital open world where you can have plots of land that you own and you can create, these digital assets that you own on this virtual plane. I want to know what your thoughts are on, the digital assets that people can own in these virtual worlds and where you think that this is evolving and headed as far as the things that people can own and do, with digital items in something like, a world like Decentraland.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks for teeing it up. Um, so I think one of the very interesting concept is thinking about originally we're content creators, so we create all these items. Then all of a sudden you have landowners. So the question then is a lot of these landowners, they are not content creators themselves. So all of a sudden you have this created this additional layer of vacancies. So essentially what we've been working on is we partner with this other project called MetaZone. All of our creation within the Decentraland, most of it are in sort of like in a way think of the vending machine model. We are creating a vending machine. We sell the vending machine to these landowners who then can deploy on their land. So now you all of a sudden have multiple layers. So not only as a landowner, you have this NFT, which represents your land, you're also buying a vending machine, which is also an NFT. You put a vending machine on your land. Now, what that vending machine can do then is you can still start selling pop. So, which means you can sell the pop to general people coming in, and they can buy stuff, and you, the landowner, can directly profit from that through this platform. But in reality, in our particular specific instance, instead of taking the vending machine model, is we sell for Ethermon. Ethermon now roams around the Decentraland as pets. Traditionally, you just see there's 2Ds on a website and you fight with them. Now you're taking them, they become your pet inside the Decentraland. So if you have one, it actually walks around beside you at the locations where we have these deployed. But now eventually, if the Decentraland supports pets, perhaps it can follow you everywhere within the Decentraland. So now, what we do sell then is because you have pets, you have to now kind of feed them. You have to kind of give them food or grow them, train them, etc. So we sell these things called garden meta, where you can plant fruits. You can take a seed and you can plant fruits, and once it's planted, you can then feed it to your Ethermon. Now, the interesting part of it now is the whole planting. The garden itself, there's only 100 gardens, so any landowner can buy the garden, and then they can deploy it onto their land. So it's essentially a snippet of code, which is an NFT, and it gets deployed on their land. And then they can take that garden and sell vegetables so that any user, even not themselves, can come and plant seeds, grow food, and feed it to Ethermon. So all of a sudden, it's very interesting because you're not just collecting one thing. You're buying a kind of like a vending machine there, and then you can sell it and commoditize it. So I think that this entire layer of multi-layer becomes very, very interesting. That's kind of the main thing we are working on right now. So we have the garden meta. We will have the egg meta, which means instead of people buying Ethermon from our platform, they can buy it from this egg nest. So they can go to any user which owns the egg nest and go buy Ethermon eggs. So in a way, you can think about it is we're franchising our ecosystem so that in a way it's kind of like franchising.
I think that's really cool that you guys have gone down that path of having your virtual pet kind of thing in your environment. I actually thought of that idea like 2 years ago, and I was given that idea to the CryptoKitties team. I'm like, you guys got to do this. This is going to be super cool to not just have your CryptoKitty NFT, but then you can play it, use it, grow it, and then battle it. But then, so that's so cool that you guys are going down that path, and that use case is going to be realized. So that's awesome.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes, I definitely agree, and thank you very much for that very helpful explanation. I know I've been in Decentraland quite a handful of times since its release, and I haven't seen the Ethermons yet, but it's been a little while since I hopped in, so I'm gonna have to take my way back over there. But yeah, lots of amazing stuff, lots of great creations I've seen from people coming from over there, so I'm excited to see how that's going to continue to evolve. Kind of back over to Brandon, I wanted to ask because I know there's already online platforms for selling tickets for events, things like Eventbrite and whatnot. And I just wanted to know if you could explain a little bit I know you did somewhat earlier on the foundation of the platform, but some of the key differences between what buying a digital NFT ticket, form as opposed to buying something like a ticket off of Eventbrite or someplace that they can just email you, like what I'm saying.
Yeah. So I mean, it's kind of like a decentralized Eventbrite, where people can go in and create their own events, and then they can kind of create their own tickets, put up the cost of what those tickets cost. So general admission, VIP, sponsorship tickets, set those prices, and issue those tickets so that as soon as those ticket tiers go live, anyone can start buying tickets, and so there's no like barrier between some corporation kind of saying, hey, this event shut down type of thing. So it's no one, people can buy tickets to that event. There's no middleman, but the contracts are essentially the middleman, but it's code. So you're trusting the code, which is a different concept, and so you're lowering the fees. But some of the primary use cases that I was working on, trying to help solve, is the scalping and the scamming in the industry. It's a multi-billion-dollar industry of scamming tickets. People, you're getting Photoshop, creating these tickets like Super Bowl tickets, and they're getting extremely realistic, where there's billions of dollars every single year spent on fake tickets, and people don't realize it until they've already bought it, and they've tried to go into the event, and then they scan it, and this isn't a real ticket, sorry. And then not only did you just fly to this state or fly to this country, but your ticket's invalid and you can't go. And then the other aspect is fair ticket distribution. So with TicketStub and Ticketmaster, they've colluded essentially, and so there's been many times where people would be sitting there like on standby for the tickets to go live to some concert, say like a Justin Timberlake concert, and they're waiting there for like an $80 ticket for a good seat, and then as soon as they go live, they're all sold, and then they end up on StubHub for like 2 times the price, which is like, what the hell's going on here? So not only are the event creators getting screwed from that, but the fans are being screwed because now they're paying a higher price, and they're forced to pay the higher price, and the event creator can't do really nothing about that. So that's kind of trying to disrupt those types of markets, and then adding on the additional layers of what NFTs can be, where you could literally have one ticket in a ticket tier, and it could be a very unique art painting. So it actually can be converted into different art. It can be converted into digital game items like skins. So like if you imagine like you're attending an NBA virtual conference, and your ticket allows you to go into the event, and not only that, it turns into like a Michael Jordan jersey or something, or some type of really cool hat or something of that nature, like the hats that we have here. So that was something that I was actually trying to work with GamerJive to actually get into the system and connect with them. And maybe at some point in the future that something like that can be established. But that was always in the roadmap of like connecting with these virtual conferences. And now that Corona has kind of come up, I've been spending a lot more time. And then also, I'm going to be definitely looking harder into Decentraland to start to build use cases of attending events by using those tickets as well, and then having those converted into actual digital items, and et cetera, et cetera. So there's a lot of opportunities that not just like as a typical, as like compared to like Eventbrite where you're buying the ticket and all that stuff, but this opens it up to a lot more transparency, a lot more fair of the system, and trustless system. So if you're buying that ticket, that that ticket's associated to that conference, and you're getting what you're paying for, and you're going to be able to own that ticket for a lifetime and use that ticket. And then of course there's other potential use cases down the road where, so like whoever bought a Run for Unicorns 2020 ticket, maybe 2021 they get a discount, or they get some additional item that they had that ticket now represents. So that ticket stays in your wallet. You own that ticket, and so that's kind of some cool stuff that you could do there, especially with like cross-pollinating these different smart contracts. Like imagine your Ethermon becomes a ticket, or your CryptoKitties is also a ticket. So it's like those types of use cases. So you're kind of getting like some synergistic value to purchasing those NFTs, where you're getting some value there, which is pretty cool.
Yes, I definitely agree, and thank you very much for that explanation. One of the last things I wanted to ask is I know that the NFT marketplace, you have both the people that want to buy these NFTs for various purposes, using them in game or collecting, selling, whatever. But then you also have those that want to mint NFTs to create some sort of digital asset for themselves, whether to hold on to or to give out to friends or maybe even to sell to make some profit. And I know that all three guys, Ador, as far as content creation, making NFTs that way, and Digitex, like creating the NFTs for events, selling them out, as well as creating whatever vending machine or whatever we were saying, like amusement park or a planetarium in a digital world to sell tickets to or whatever. Could you guys go through a little bit of the process of setting up and minting and selling any sort of NFTs or digital assets on your platform? Lou, if we could start with you, if you have the
Yeah, sure,
information.
definitely. So it's interesting because I mean, I guess we've been in the NFT space for a little while, and we actually have multiple different stacks, multiple different ways to do it because we really have thought through how it should be done. But most fundamentally, I will start with Ethermon Classic. So what it does, it's fully decentralized. It's open on a smart contract. So when you pay Ether or our token EMONT, you will be able to mint the NFT by the contract. So that's the directly on chain. And what we do in our backend databases, we only update our database when it happens on chain. So which means we take users interaction on chain, and then we take a copy of that from Etherscan to say, okay, that's verified. Then you see the results on the website. Now, the biggest flaw with that system is you need to wait for everything to get verified before you see it on the website. Then you will also see other games does it a little bit differently, which is people pay and then they show the asset right away on the website, so the user get instant feedback, and then they do the minting in the backend and send it to the user. So I think you can do it that way as well. And so I guess we sort of do look at kind of use both of them essentially, which is user can buy directly through the on-chain. Now, if gas is too high, then what we do is we're looking at multiple different off-chain channel. For example, even if you onboard a credit card, so if you buy using credit card on a website, this is currently not live, but we're working on if you use a credit card payment, then we process it. And what we do is we mint the NFT in the backend. And once the processing of the credit card is confirmed, payment received, then we use the backend to send it to them. So instead of a minting on chain, we're doing the transfer off chain. The advantage is obviously you have a better control of gases as well. So when gas is high, you can kind of delay it a little bit and to send it out a little bit later. But you do also have to. The other advantage is you can mint ahead of time. So instead of user having to pay gas at a time, you can mint orders ahead of time, and all you're doing a transfer at a later stage. So I just touch on those two. Then obviously the third one, which is quite popular, we do use the OpenSea storefront since they have a way that anyone can go there and mint anything that they like. So that's also very nice for anyone who doesn't want to touch code.
All right, thank you very much. That was definitely very helpful information for anybody trying to get into Decentraland and may or may not already have some land, but is trying to create some sort of content for the world. So thank you very much. Brandon, if you want to go next.
Yeah. So essentially, it's an NFT generator. So the process flow and how it works is, one is you first, as an event organizer, you establish a create event function. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you just fine.
Yeah. Oh, okay. That screen went like blank a little bit. So yeah, the first step is that the event organizer wants to create an event. That then puts that into the contract saying that there's an event there into the struct of the data. And then at that point, they can go into their event admin panel and they can start to kind of carve out what type of event tickets that they want to offer. So they could have 100 different ticket tiers. They could have infinite, basically however many tickets you want to create, you can create as many ticket tiers as you want. So, you can keep it to 3 or general admission, VIP sponsorship. You can have, I think last year we did like 17 different tickets for the Run for Unicorns, where we had Bourbon with the Billionaires, we had the Shark Tank tickets, we had trifecta, superfecta, and each of those are different types of access levels where you had you had access to the first day, you had access to the whole Bourbon Trail, you had access to the whole entire event, you had access to part of the event, and so in that process, the user, the event organizer, goes to the event panel, creates a ticket tier, sets the price of that ticket tier, say it's a VIP ticket, sets the price in either Ethereum or a custom ERC20 token or dollar value, and then uploads the NFT design for that ticket tier suite of tickets. So each of those ticket tiers, each ticket's a unique NFT ERC 721, but each of them have the same ticket tier like NFT design to it. So you can have 100 of those. So like just for this event, you can go on OpenSea Digitix. You can see all of the spinning logos, which are also tickets on the actual system. So once that tier gets created, people can then start buying those tickets. And as soon as they purchase the ticket, so if I set the price as 1 Ethereum for 1 ticket, user can go in there and browse events, and they can see, oh yeah, I want to go to this event. They click on that event, and they can see the different ticket tiers for what kind of tickets you can buy, and then you can basically kind of scroll down, click on which ticket tier you want to buy, how many tickets you want to purchase, and then go through the processing of paying for that transaction. So as soon as you pay like 1 Ethereum, which would be the price for the VIP ticket, it then mints the NFT there and sends it to your wallet. And that all happens in one transaction, so that you now own that ticket. And the ticket then goes in your ticket wallet. You go there, and then you'll be able to see that design, the NFT design of what it is, a 3D spinning kind of artwork thing. But then also by clicking on that, you get a QR code, which is a custom private key that allows you to use that on the day of the event, where you then delegate your event scanners to scan those tickets. And the tickets will say, hey, yeah, this is a valid ticket. Do you want to use this ticket? Yes. And then once it gets used, it's been used. The status basically turns from used to or not used to used. So if you ever try to sell it, people can say, oh, this ticket's already used. I don't, and then you can't transfer it and all that stuff. So that's how we architected it essentially, is that a ticket's only minted when one is purchased. And the price can be set to 0. So someone could just go in there and buy a ticket, and there's other parameters that can be set where only one wallet can buy 1 ticket. So that's kind of how the system works for how we were designing it.
All right, yeah, definitely. Thank you very much. I'm sure that helps a lot of people that are trying to set up an event with you guys, and yeah, thank you very much for that. Mark, I don't know if you have anything to add as far as your project and plans for the actual minting of the NFTs once the platform comes out.
Yeah, I was trying to share my screen. Let's see if I can do it.
Yeah, the bottom left-hand corner. There you go.
Yep, I see it now.
Yeah, so basically, as myself as a mentor and creator, what I see in the space, people either they want to mint or want to learn how to mint. And I have like just a few like examples up here of how to like create items and templates. So on Adore, what's going to happen is we definitely want to have it open, but also verify and curate some of the experiences. So if there's an artist, either a well-known artist or a traditional artist that already has a community, we can, kind of hold their hand and say, hey, here's how you mint various virtual items. You can do 2D, you can do 3D, you can add music. We kind of walk them through a little guideline of how to create virtual items and let them, use their imagination. I say, okay, what if I can do this? Can I do that? And give them. So at first, we'll have the smart contract. On the technical side, basically whitelist their account so they can come in and mint. Now there'll be some guidelines, even though it's an open platform, as to what can be shown, and just to make sure it's a marketplace that everyone feels safe and respected at. That being said, some people will be able to come in and just mint whatever they like, And to a certain point, we can either red flag or whitelist or do what we can to just keep the marketplace at a respectable level. Kind of imagine Amazon or eBay. You know, Amazon, yes, anyone can post things for sale, but it's specific things. eBay, you get a little bit more freedom, but not as much as just posting whatever you can. So we definitely want to curate, the experience and allow at first specific individuals that whitelist access. They can come in. Some may know, like, okay, I have my assets. I know how to create. I want to mint. We give them permission to mint. Later down the line, we may get to a place where each artist or creator has their own smart contract, and they can just come in, log in, and mint on their specific smart contract. And with that being said, they can take that smart contract to any platform on any chain, either with our help or they find a developer. So it does get a little technical fast. We aim to make it as easy as possible, by just setting up an account. And currently, you will have to do either a MetaMask or a Wax Cloud wallet to mint to those chains. In the future, we may, provide the service where just give us the item or give us the link or the asset, and we'll mint it for you, and have that advanced experience as well. So me, I always like, kind of gamifying. Let's see, I like gamifying things. So these coins, they're going to be, I'm going to do like the basic coins, the legendary, the epic, and the mythic. So I'm going to have these coins kind of run the marketing aspect of Adore, as long as some stickers. So you got to collect stickers, burn stickers to get these coins. And actually, Alex, a guy in Telegram, he's an incredible designer. He created these coins, and basically by gamifying and allowing the user to have fun and feel good, they're going to want to come back and tell friends, and just have more fun. So we're going to have cards, art, music, a bunch of things to just make it all around experience, and hopefully we can tie this into a Decentraland, crypto voxels, Ethereum, or Digitix.
Mm. Yes, thank you very much. That was very helpful, and very excited to see how that is going to be once the soft launch finally commences. As far as questions go, officially, that is the end of all the ones that I have set up. I know we have one over here in the comments from Chris. It seems to be for Lou, wanting to just know if you have any information about access to certain areas of virtual events. Oh, maybe it's for Michael, based on
Yeah,
permission level of the NFT. Yeah, if you wanted to clarify that, mayhaps.
for sure. Like for example, in this environment, kind of the way I would envision it is, I purchase an NFT ticket. Let's say it has three permissions, like bronze, silver, and gold. The bronze level only gets into two out of the five areas. Uh, silver gets into four out of five, and then gold gets into five out of five. And that's kind of how my brain wraps around it, and kind of giving it, because there was another panel earlier, the Decentraland panel. They were talking about, I forgot the person's name. I forgot who they're. Russ Albrecht, about how they had different levels of permissions.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm looking at doing with Decentraland is being able to get access to a venue, or level, based upon your ticket tier. That's exactly right. So I mean, in their use case, I think you had to buy X amount of items or tokens, or that he was saying. So if you had two, you could go to the second level. You had three, you go to the third level. Essentially, it would be like you buy one ticket, and that would get you access to those specific access levels.
So maybe, yeah. Okay, so maybe, I'm sorry, I'm just kind of talking through it myself. Like, so maybe it's $25 for the bronze, $50 for the silver, and 100 for the gold, and then
exactly. Yeah, and yeah, that's exactly right. And then, of course, I'd love to, especially in Decentraland, get it to become a wearable, where you're wearing like a wristband is level 1, a shirt is level 2, a jacket and a hat is like level 3, type of thing. And those can all be NFTs that can be tradable and stuff. but it can be used on chain also. So like if it is used, you've used it, so you can't go in the event. You can only go in the event when you use the ticket.
Mhm. And then again, just on the general use case is like, not only is it the ticket into the event, but it's you get to collect that NFT like you all said. I mean, I think all three of you all pointed that out, uh, in some of your statements. So I found that interesting.
Yeah, and I mean, there could be like some loyalty there too, in terms of, okay, you bought this ticket for this event last week, we'll honor it for the next week,
Mm-hmm.
and maybe the next week after that. Or you bought level 1 ticket a long time ago, you can you can airdrop certain items to that wallet as well, and kind of give loyalty points to that person, to the ticket holder. So I think like even for this event, I think there was some mentioning of chibis that were getting distributed to NFT ticket buyers. So whoever bought a ticket for this event, I think that may have been announced. I'm not sure if that has been announced officially, but and I'm not sure what the status of that is. I don't think they're responsible for. I think Chibis is the one that's owning that. But that's like one use case. So like if someone buys a ticket to this event, like just like if you go to some type of conference where they try to hand out stuff, you can kind of hand out things to those ticket holders as like benefits. That if you go to an event and they give you a water bottle or a T-shirt or type of thing like that, you can give an NFT T-shirt to those holders to incentivize them to do more access. And you have access to all those addresses because it's Ethereum public chain.
Now, does Digitix work more than just the ticket itself? Like, if we wanted to make this drink, if I was putting on an event and I wanted to make this drink an NFT, then okay.
Yep, that's exactly right. Yeah, so that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to do earlier on to actually try to get like that drink to be the ticket or the hat to be a ticket. Actually, the one thing I really wanted to do was to get an actual unicorn that you could ride, which we could like ride around on a unicorn on this in this environment, which would have been that's a stretch, but
well, no, let's take a step further, and I don't would probably like this, but have your Ethermon follow you.
Exactly.
You bring your NFT with you, right? I think that's interesting.
Yeah.
Any other questions from the panel? I don't want to hijack the Q&A.
Yeah, no, I don't see anything else in the chat, and it is 2:01, so unless anyone else has anything else that they want to quickly write in, or I don't know if they can unmute themselves now, but speak up or whatever, then I think that's it.
I did post all of the social assets. Well, actually, real quick for the audio side of it, for like a repurposed podcast. Where's the best place to connect with everybody? If we want to start with Brandon.
You can connect on Twitter. The link is down there, and then you can go to digitix.io. You can subscribe, and then I'm also on LinkedIn if you want to connect with me directly.
Just Ivan at ethermon.io. But if you just go over to ethermon.io, on the front page is the link to all of our Discord. You can actually see what members there. We're pretty much there like all the time. So Discord is the best method to reach the Ethermon team and community. Thank you.
Yeah, for me, you can contact me on Twitter, either on adore.org at ADORORG, adore.org Twitter page, or my Twitter page at Phenomenal Mark. I'm on LinkedIn, Mark Savage, Telegram, Mark Savage. So any social link, you can drop a line, comment, message, response, and we can connect.
Yeah, any links you guys would like to drop in the chat, feel free to do so. I've tried to put as much as I can in there for everybody to connect. And then on all the repurposed content, we'll have the links in the descriptions and the show notes as well, so everybody gets connected.